Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back to iAllegedly. Today, I've got a good one for you. We're going to do an update on the EIDL loan and grant, the status of it, and how to get reconsideration if you were denied for any part of it. The grant, the loan, everything. So, you know the rules. Please, before we get into it, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell so you get all the notifications. Plus, we've got an email list that's in the description. Please join the email list. And we're not going to spam you. We're just going to get you information every now and then. So please join it. A bunch of people have already. It's going to be great. And we've got some cool stuff coming up. So let's get into it. Status of the EIDL loan. The EIDL grant program is unavailable today. You can get reconsideration for a previously applied grant application and loan application prior to July 11th. Okay. The EIDL loan program, they want to fund it more through Senator Rosen and Senator Cornyn. They want to use SB 4227 to get additional funding. $100 billion for loans and $80 billion for the advances. Now, I've called both their offices, spoke to staff members at both places. They're great people. I told them that I was not in their district. I'm from California, but I told them both how much it meant to us for small businesses, what I do, my business, the YouTube channel, everything I'm doing, and told them how important it was that SB 4227 gets included in the next package of stimulus. Now, if you're not familiar with SB 4227, the 10-second thing is it will give us more funding. It will make it so that the people that are getting denied for the grants and the loans are going to go out and be able to reapply and get additional funding, get the full $10,000 grant, and also, if you did not get enough money the first time, you'll be able to go back and ask for additional funding. So let's get into it. First things first, if you were denied for the EIDL grant or loan program, they had to give you a specific reason. Now, some people were basically ghosted and they've heard nothing from the SBA, which means that you may not have even put the proper email to get a hold of you, or they've sent things to your spam folder and you haven't seen it. Okay, I've seen this happen already. From your denial, you have 6 months to apply for reconsideration. And I'm going to include an actual reconsideration letter in this email so you guys can copy it and follow along with that. But you had to have a business that generated sales prior to January 31st, 2020. Okay, I keep getting, emails and messages. Dan, I started this new business in May and we want to get EIDL funding. No, okay? You have no sales. That's the other thing is we have no sales and we want to know if we can get a loan. Would you lend somebody money? Your brother wouldn't lend you money if you don't have sales. So you guys got to have a business generating income of some sort. And that could be a rideshare company. It could be the simplest Etsy store. It can be something very, very simple, but you have to have previous sales prior to January to even qualify for any part of it. Now, if SB 4227 gets approved and they add it, then you could realistically be able to have businesses that were started post-COVID shenanigans and be able to be included in that. So let's get into it. The most popular reason for denial, again, is that you did not give them the proper information for your company. The name of the company, the tax ID number. They cannot match this up. This is something that if what is on your tax return, if it is your name on your tax return alone, this is one I got today. Hey, I only work on my name and that's all I file my taxes under. Well, that's what you're going to file the EIDL loan program under, and your reconsideration is going to be written that way. You're not going to say, I'm really cool moving company if you don't have a DBA for that. It's you, okay? So you've got to have everything match up. The tax ID number that you file your taxes on. If you are behind on child support or you haven't filed taxes in 10 years, you're not going to get the grant or the loan. They will not give it to you. It's just that simple. You need to make sure all that's correct. And the second most popular reason is the credit. Address the credit immediately. They're asking people for things like, hey, you can have a cosigner for this. Well, I think it's preposterous on an economic injury loan, because the one thing that I found recently is that if you were denied for credit, you're still allowed to go back and say, wait a second, I don't want you to look at just the credit. I want you to look at what my business did to get reconsidered for the loan, and they're giving people these loans for that. So don't let hey deadbeat be the reason that you don't get this, okay? Attack the credit. If you were denied for credit, call them, speak to someone, go to tier 2 at the SBA and demand the answer for the bad credit. Oh, we're not really sure. It's not really specific. They don't give it to us. So it's unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable. So demand that you get the answer for that, and demand that they give you a reason for your denial so that you can combat that. Now, again, if somebody didn't pay child support and it showed up on their credit, but they're current right now, then fix that. Explain that. Okay. The idea with the reconsideration and the reconsideration letter is to be as thorough as possible, because you don't just get 2 bites at the apple, you get 3 bites at the apple. And from my recent conversations with the SBA, this is going to be mind-numbing when you hear what I'm about to tell you, and that is that the SBA is still so overwhelmed with applications for the EIDL loans that they've taken regular people that work for the SBA, that may be the person that works the trade show or the person that works the email programs or works in the office, and now they're a loan officer. They're not real loan officers. These are not people that have ever worked a loan or a mortgage or anything in the history of their illustrious career. They've never done that. These people are working 10-hour shifts in front of a computer screen that has an AI program that if the boxes are checked, they give the person a loan. It's disgusting. They have to write 4 loans an hour, okay? And which is why we're getting these really low loan numbers. That's why we're getting $1,000 loans and $1,500 loans. If you have been given an offer for a loan and it is not sufficient, if it does not equal 6 months working capital. Now, the definition of working capital, is it just the expenses for the business? Is it as if the company was not there and not selling anything and you needed 6 months to replace it? There's an argument both ways. Now, the accountants are jumping up and down saying, no, working capital is defined as this. But still, for someone that has a business that, let's say it generates $100,000 a year in sales or $200,000 a year in sales, like I've seen, and these people are getting $1,800 loans for 30 years to the federal government, you guys are crazy to take that. So address the negative remarks immediately and deal with that in the letter. Now, the third thing is you did not experience an economic injury. Now, there are 2 types of companies that this has been experience with, that I've had the experience that have been gotten this denial. If, for example, you gave them financial information that your company does $20,000 a year in sales and they gave you a $3,000 grant, well, you don't have a big enough loss based on what you told them to justify getting a loan for 80 grand, okay? It's just that simple. The other companies are companies that were run very efficiently. And Marge, you can talk to her, my bookkeeper, and she'll print out the QuickBooks and I can tell you the stats of the company immediately. Those companies have been denied left and right because they look too efficient and they look like they haven't had a loss. Now, as this thing has gone on, I haven't done a reconsideration video for 3 months now, guys. That's how long it's been. What business has not been destroyed during this time, okay? They've all been suffered some way or another. Now, they can determine that you were turned down for no economic injury if, in fact, you were losing money. Now, you can call it creative accounting, you can call it whatever you want, but one way to solve this, which I would submit this because I did the long application first, and there is a form 1368 from the SBA, 1368, 1368, form 1368 from the SBA, which you can request, and that has you give them 3 years of your sales and financial information. A child could fill it out, okay? But again, do not be afraid of your sales. If the company was doing very little sales and all of a sudden ramped up last year, that happens, okay? If the company's only been open for a short period of time prior to this whole thing happening, that happens too. Do not lie to these people. Do not make stuff up because it will get you in more trouble. They will find you. If they lend you money and you don't pay them back, I think that's loan fraud. So again, ask your attorney, your tax preparer, but tell the truth on the application, okay? So if you feel that there's an error on why they were turned down, hit it head on, okay? We're going to get into the information on what a reconsideration letter looks like and what you need to put in that. I'm going to do this for both the grant and for the loan, okay? So let's get into that. Here it is. This is the perfect example of a reconsideration letter and everything that should be included in it. I am requesting a reconsideration of my SBA EIDL loan application or grant. Give them the number of your application. Now, if you did not get your application number, then that means you didn't fill something out or you didn't put the email address correct or something. Send them the date that you applied and give them that information. Give them the business legal name. Again, we talked about this. What's on your tax return that they are comparing? They're comparing your Social Security number or your EIDN number to a business, to a name, something that's there that you need to verify what you use every year when you file your taxes. And then I was denied due to X, whether it's credit, whether it was no economic loss, whatever, you need to explain to them in great detail. Give them the bank information, which includes the routing number and your account number. Give them your tax ID number again. I believe I should be eligible for the EIDL grant or loan because provide your explanation. Go into detail. My company provides, explain what your company does, what you guys sell, what you do. These people, they're locked in a room looking at a computer screen. They may not know what you do. So explain, send a few photos, no family pics. This is about your business. Give them a copy of your website so they can look at this. I would look at it. I think it'd be cool to find out what you guys did. Give them the Facebook page, the Instagram, Twitter, if you guys have any of that stuff. Attach all the documents. Add a brief description of what you're adding. Thank you for your reconsideration. Here's my name. Sincerely, your name, your company, your email address, and send that in. That's what you need to send them. Be as detailed as possible. This can only help you. Good luck. Feel free to freeze that letter and write it out and get yourself an example, tweak it, write it with your own format, whatever. But that's what they want to see. It's what they told me. I showed this to them. That's perfect, Dan. If we could get more of those, that'd be great. Guys, they are turning people down for businesses that do not qualify. If you have adult content, if you do gambling or a questionable activity, they will deny you and you will always be denied. If SB 4227 goes through, it's going to give us additional funding to ask for more money and for everybody to get the $10,000 grant that we should have gotten in the first place. If you've heard nothing and you haven't received anything, you've done something wrong. Let's hope SB 4227 goes through, but before that happens and you're thinking about reconsideration, I have a lot of people that have written me that have been given loan offers and we're just not sure if we should take it or not. Well, go back to them now. Now is your chance. Even with the loan offer, you've got 60 days to say, hey, wait a second, you offered me $16,000, I want 80. And, oh, we can't do 80, and give them the reason why you want the 80 grand. And, okay, well, we can do 40. I'm telling you guys, this loan, no payment for a year. The world will not be like this a year from now. It's got to get better. It has to. Your business has got to get better. But for you to borrow $1,000, $3,500, and have to start paying on that and be in debt to the federal government is insane. Get enough money to where it's going to change your business during this time, okay? Remember the description. This is very simple. You've got to always do this. Now, if you're submitting for a startup competition, you're trying to raise money from investment bankers and VCs and angel investors, you're not going to do it this way. But to describe your business, remember the grandmother principle. If you described your business to my grandmother, grandma's going to nod off in 3 sentences. So you've got 3 sentences to tell her what she did. I had a guy write me who is a termite guy, and I should post this thing because, oh, Dan, we run a termite treatment place, and we've got the most humane orange oil, and the orange oil actually tastes good to the to the termites before they pass away, and we don't yell at the termite. I mean, it was insane. Okay, I don't know if this guy wanted to send me this because I live in California. He thought we're all space cadets, but I'm only half crazy. So that's insane. 3 sentences. I do pest control. My family's done it 30 years. We run a great company, the best service out there. Boom. Okay. Now, good luck to everybody. I hope that this works. Please understand, you can still get an EIDL loan. If you applied before July 11th, you can be eligible for the grant. Oh, we have no more grants. Shenanigans, they have it, okay? They can still give it to you prior to July 11th. If SB 4227 goes through, or a stimulus package with additional money, then they will talk about more funding for this program. This is a great loan if you get enough money for your business that can change it. You guys, and if you do get the money, take my advice. Take a step back before you do anything and decide, what am I going to spend this on? What are we going to do with this? Okay? The knee-jerk reaction is to go, oh my God, Ted called us from the lumber yard. We owe him money. You owe everybody money, guys, right now. Okay? And that's the other thing. The reconsideration is based on the business prior to the COVID shenanigans. You've got to understand that. So you can clean up your credit. This is kind of ridiculous. I would get my accountant involved. I would get my attorney involved if you wanted to. People that could write letters to talk about what a great company you have. Customer testimonials, things like that. Give them something that's going to show that you guys have value. And do not be afraid to ask for this. Now, once you're denied a second time, you can still go back a third time, which I think is the best shot. The third time is in front of an actual loan officer and a loan committee that determines, what you can get and how, much loan, and you actually deal with real people. It's not AI, because that's the problem with this thing. I hope SB 4227 goes through. I hope that they pull the EIDL loans from the SBA and send them to real banks, because banks want to make loans to businesses. That's how they make money. The SBA has no business doing this right now, guys. They're overwhelmed, over their head, and that's exactly what they've told me, okay? So good luck to every one of you. Reach out anytime. Join the email list, guys. There'll be some cool stuff coming out. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Tell all your friends about the channel. Channel's growing. I'm so happy. Anything I can do for you guys, let me know. And good luck to everybody, and I will see you all very, very soon.